After a week away, the Prime Minister has returned as his government tries to patch up its relationship with France. It follows a stinging speech from the French ambassador yesterday, accusing the government of betrayal and deceit. Live now to Jonathan Lee. Jonathan, senior ministers are reminding voters that AUKUS is about a lot more than just submarines.
Ash, good afternoon to you. That's right, the Prime Minister has returned home this morning after being away for the better part of a week. We had the G20 in Rome and then we had the Glasgow Climate Summit as well, but that's all been overshadowed with the souring of Australia's relationship with France, despite the fact that the Prime Minister Scott Morrison actually phoned Emmanuel Macron before his departure. In the past 72 hours, we've had Scott Morrison being called a liar, Australia being accused of betrayal and deceit, stabbing France in the back. Now, one minister we haven't heard a great deal from has actually been the Foreign Minister, Marise Payne. She's sat down and spoken exclusively with Kieran Gilbert, and she's made the very important point that why France might be paying close attention to the fact that they've missed out on the submarine and the $90 billion submarine contract. The reason Australia walked away from that wasn't just because of its capabilities, it's because there was actually far more on the table when it came to AUKUS. It was about technology, the improved acquisition of technology, and what that would mean for Australia's position in the Pacific. Let's have a listen.
So, Kieran, I think perhaps we would miss the point completely if we ignored the fact that the premise of the decision that Australia made was our agreement to participate in an extremely important trilateral partnership with the United Kingdom and the United States, the AUKUS, and everything that is within that partnership. Everything that is within that partnership, whether it is the technology sharing arrangements, whether it is the work that we will do on quantum computing and cyber and artificial intelligence, on other undersea capability, and of course the acquisition of nuclear-powered submarines themselves.
Treasurer Josh Frydenberg has also made the point this morning that Australia is working feverishly behind the scenes to fix the relationship, but he won't say exactly what Australia is attempting to do or how to do it.
The one thing you don't do is leak a text message, surely.
Well, again, the claim was pretty extraordinary and it needed to be refuted. In terms of the relationship, the French have said, well, it's now up to Australia. We've got some ideas that we're working on as to how we can rebuild that relationship. I think it will take some time.
Of course, Jonathan, it all just plays straight into the hands of the opposition.
It does. It was only a couple of weeks ago that the opposition, Ash, was talking about the fact that there might be a December election, something to catch people off guard, or at least to catch the Labor Party off guard. It's very, very evident now that that's not going to happen. And it also plays into the narrative the Labor Party is shaping around Scott Morrison's integrity and the fact that they are now sort of trying to create a picture that the coalition is also botching defence contracts. Now, traditionally, defence would be a strong suit of the coalition of a Liberal government, but this is something that the Labor Party is now saying that Scott Morrison, the coalition, has got wrong.
The criticism is making the wrong decision, costing us billions of dollars in the first place.
I mean, whichever way you look at it, the government signed up with a partner 5 years ago for a program which was going to last the better part of 30, 50 years, really, and by the time that we're talking about those submarines coming out of the water. And 5 years into that partnership, the government bring it to an end. Now, whichever way you look at it, that is an incredible failure of national security policy.
Ash, in about half an hour's time, the opposition leader Anthony Albanese will be up in Western Sydney in Blacktown. I'm sure we can expect to hear similar lines from him. Ashley.
I think so, Jonathan. Thank you. And also make sure you don't miss Chief News Anchor Kieran Gilbert's full interview with the Foreign Affairs Minister Marise Payne. That is coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this afternoon. That's on Afternoon Agenda.